Another one. And more nails. And more. What we'll have to deal with in our further cleanup. More oil filters. I think they had a real problem with oil filters here. Just a guess, because there's so many. And it's, you know, a shop that fits one tractor. Whoa! It's warm enough that the Pike children can play outside and make use of the trampoline after a winter of not being out here. Of course, the dogs are always barking outside. Alright, so here I am in my workshop. As you can see, all the clutter and everything behind me. And a lot of the stuff, you know, on like the immediate shelves here, the wood and tools and stuff like that, that's mine. But there's a whole lot of clutter in the bins behind, well, the wood's mine, but all those cubbies back there are filled with stuff that was here when we moved in. And all the crap down there. None of that stuff, like all that is not mine. Like there's motors down there. I don't know if they work, but they've got to find a better home. There are things like, you know, tons of bolts and nuts and washers and, you know, like seriously drawers full of stuff here. And again, wasn't put there by me. It's all here. You know, like even some, you know, completely unused oil filters from machines I don't have, or, you know, the obligatory can full of nails that, you know, being a guy with a workshop, I'm probably going to keep. So yeah, I mean, I just want to kind of tidy some of that stuff up, make the space more functional for the stuff that I'm actually using. Like, you know, I've got flywheels and springs and chains and all sorts of crap in here that I don't use, that I can get, you know, some of my stuff off of the surface I have used so that I can use it more. You know, I've got a lot of building stuff I got to do this year. I've got to build, you know, first and foremost, I got to get some more laying boxes done for the hens. I've got to get the chicken tractor for the meat birds built. I need to get some, you know, another brooder done, a better brooder, something more like what Sow the Land has done. It'll be easier to clean and easier to access and everything like that now that, you know, we've gone for a little while and done this a few times and know what actually works. And we want to be doing more and increasing the volume of birds that we're going to have at any given time. So I need something a little bigger than the one I made last year, right? That was made for, you know, kind of one hatch at a time off of our little incubator. Well, if we're going to get into doing meat birds, if we're going to get into selling meat birds here, then that's something that we need a bigger brooder for, because we're going to be doing bigger batches of birds. You know, and other surprises and things that, you know, I'm going to need workshop space to do. You know, like ideally, I'd like to, you know, unload this desk and get it out. I'd like to get all these, you know, things off the walls because I don't have the machines that they're for. You know, and just clear up the space and make it more functional. Like, honestly, long term, I think I'd like to be turning this into more of a wood shop than a machine shop. But, you know, that's the long-term goal. But really, it's just, it's functional, but barely. I have to squeeze everything in. So that's what I want to get working on today. So let's get to her. Hey, if I find anything interesting, well, we'll pull it out and show it to you. All right, let's get going. So yeah, the area I want to focus on is, or I want to get started with at least, is all these cubbies and shelves back here. But first and foremost, I got to get to them, and so that means I got to clean up some of my crap to clean up some of their crap so that we can make better use of the crap. So let's get started on that. things you find on the farm here is this. So these are parts for some of the big mower kind of things that you get. You see on the tractors, they roll around and everything. These are the teeth from the blades, I believe, that cut all the crops down. And then they'd go over it with a rake to get them into piles, and then have the combine go over it and pick it up. Might even actually be part of the combine. But I've got a whole heck of a lot of them sitting here, and no machine to use them with. So I guess it's the recycle pile, or see if my neighbor wants them. So yeah, one of the things in here is this completely mangled and mostly useless multi-bit screwdriver from forever ago. They completely destroyed and just sitting there on the shelf. I mean, still good, you know, flathead screwdriver, but that's the kind of stuff that I'm pulling out here. Also, some of the fun stuff you find on a farm when you move in is everywhere. I'm finding, you know, there's a couple of shotgun shells we've dug up, and this whole little box of 22 caliber rounds for a long rifle. And all these are things that I'll have to turn into the RCMP because I don't know how old they are, so even if I was to get a rifle that would fire these things, it wouldn't be safe to do so. But, you know, we're just finding them. Like, there's even one here that had been run over or something and split wide open. All the shell, like all the shot is out of it, but it's still a live round. So that's all stuff that needs to be taken care of safely. So make sure, you know, you do the same thing. If you ever come across something like this, like especially if something that's old, most likely it's not going to fire effectively, and it might even explode in your gun. So you want to make sure that you take proper caution with stuff that you don't know the age or you know, quality of. Because it could have been sitting here for 10 years, right? Anyway, it's just, you know, some of the fun stuff that we've been finding here that I've been putting up high to keep out of the reach of children who may be curious. Anyway, back to it. I got, what, 4 bins done? I'll just keep going. Finding some old tools that may be useful, although these rusted, you know, tin snips probably aren't going to do the job anymore. And, you know, you got a bunch of cubbies, but cut open an old oil can and throw all your brackets and crap in there instead. Why not, right? That way you can move and mess around easier. I mean, I'm sure a lot of this stuff is kept because it's stuff that could be useful if you have the machinery to use for, but then it obviously wasn't useful enough for them to pack it up and move out with it. So, you know, really enjoying that. All right, I guess it's time to get back to it. Of course, in Pike Homestead, it's always a cat. What are you doing? Luna. So anyway, it's a bit of progress done on making that goal work, but it's a lot of time, a lot of stuff to sort out. A lot of stuff that I'm just throwing in a pile outside for, you know, when we get calling some metal recyclers, because most of it is just metal. But there is a lot of stuff here that might be reusable. So let me show you some of what I found. So again, some flywheels, which if you remember my battles with the furnace, can come in handy. So I'll find a better spot to store those. These funky and incredibly dirty yellow glasses. Got some fishing line in this bag full of various O-rings and things like that could possibly come in handy. You never know when you'll find a hose or something that needs one, so I'll see if there's any of a size that I can use. Some brake pads. I don't know if I can use them, but they're new. And then we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 oil filters of various sizes that are all looking like they're unused. Some Rain-X to, you know, treat your windshield glass to keep the water and bugs and stuff off it. Actually, with the bugs, that might be useful here. And I got, you know, a bag of what looks like rivets. A couple of tape measures at of various, you know, lengths. But, you know, I mean, who knows how old that is. And this one, I mean, it's 100 feet. That's pretty good. A neat little spirit level. I have one of these myself. They're incredibly handy. It looks like it's still working. Nice little torpedo level. Little bits of rope with some gasket glue in there. I have no idea what that's about. A couple of taps. One looks brand new. And then this one here, that's been obviously used and stuff, so I don't know how good it is. Various of these little things for a John Deere. I don't know, I probably won't be able to use them, but maybe my neighbors could. And then we've got some rotary grinders there, and there's some other grinding wheels over here for that I may be able to make use of. And then I got some T50 staples, which I do have the equipment to use, which is fantastic. And then some standard staples, which again, I have the equipment to use. This nice big wrench, and again, the tin snips here that I showed you. I've got a couple of needle nose pliers that I pulled out. And then this thing. I have no idea what this thing is for, but it's in decent shape. It's not broken. It is called a jewel stick, so I don't know what that is. So, yeah, I'll have to look that up, find out what that's actually for. And there's a bunch of like little chisels and stuff, but most of them are broken. This is the only one so far that I've seen that's in decent enough shape. I already have tons of these. I don't know why I put it on the table to keep it. A whole bunch of brackets and square brackets and stuff like these especially are going to be handy for the stuff I got to build this year. Nice long, brand new 18-inch long chainsaw chain. I don't have an 18-inch bar for my chainsaw, but if I'm going to get one, at least I've got a chain to go with it. Some lithium grease. And to go along with this old broken multi-bit screwdriver, I found a bunch of multi-bits. And then various nails and U-nails and stuff that we will definitely use. And this little tub here is full of roofing screws. You can tell because they've got the gaskets and stuff on them. And this funky stretcher thingy that works and everything, and I imagine there's going to be a time where I can find a use for that. As well as some old dirty bins to put some of this crap in. So, you know, it's not just about cleaning it all out, but it's also about seeing what's there and what I might possibly be able to use. You know, like there's still things here like this that I might be able to use. It is a, if I'm not mistaken, yeah, it's a wood burner. I used to play around with these things a long time ago, so hey, might be useful. And of course, what shop in Alberta on a farm is without something like this. Very important. All right, anyway, so I think that's as far as I'm going to record today. I'm not going to bore you with going through all of it. If I find anything else interesting in the rest of the bins, I'll do a follow-up and let you know. But at least some progress has been made to making my shop a little bit more clean and organized and useful. And I'll leave you with that for today. Anyway, what sort of messes are you having to deal with this spring has sprung on you guys? Let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you and love to, get talking. All right. So you have a good day, and I'll see you next time.